Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image one or you just found your way here, welcome. Thank you for joining me in today's reading. Today's reading is inspired by Taylor Swift's new song, The Fate of Ophelia. So basically, we're getting into the will you die alone whole scenario. Will you be single forever? Okay. We're going to get into why you're still single. Okay, and then like maybe a little bit of like when will you meet someone, the circumstances, what point in your life will you be in, that kind of thing. And then I got a new tarot deck. I know I shouldn't be still buying decks, shoot me. I got a cute little deck yesterday. I went to Barnes and Noble and got some books, and then I got another deck. Okay, a tarot deck and an oracle deck. I have problems, I know. Okay, but it's benefiting you guys, so be happy for me. Thank you. Then we're gonna get into this and get a little bit of maybe advice slash guidance from this deck. Might as well open it. So if that feels, good for you, that feels right for you, then, stick around. If any point during the reading you're not liking what I'm saying or it's bothering you enough for you to leave a negative comment, how about you just don't say anything at all, and kind of move on with your life? Because people really be pissing me off in the comments. Like, they don't like what you say, and all of a sudden you're public enemy number one. Like, and they're ranting in the comments. Like, I appreciate the engagement, but I'm not forcing this scenario on you. It came through in a reading. You can either accept it or move along, okay? Energies are always changing. This is not going to be your forever. If you don't like the energy of the person you're calling in or of the life you're manifesting, change that instead of complaining in the comments. Because nothing you say to me is going to change your situation, okay? And half y'all be miserable, so that it would make sense why you're calling in bad energy, okay? Just put it out there, child, because I'm not passive when it comes to anybody being bullied and people in the comments acting up. I don't like that. Especially if you're new to the channel, know that I talk back. Okay, thank you. For my lovely people who are always commenting beautiful, wonderful things, even if the reading didn't go your way, thank you for being here, okay? So let's get into the will you die alone, okay? So if you know the song, The Fate of Ophelia, it's basically Taylor Swift saying how she thought she would die alone after failed relationship until she met her current fiance, Travis Kelce, okay? And she's like, and if you didn't call for me, I would have died in the melancholy, right? And I do believe the whole lore around Ophelia is she was a character in Hamlet, and I think she met a tragic end based on how Hamlet was acting, So, men are always, let me stop. I'm not a man hater, but I do believe it's hard times these days, dating and being single. It's hard times. So if it wasn't clear or obvious, this reading is for people who are single, okay? Since it's why you're still single. So let's get into the will you die alone, right? I'm using my horror tarot because it's still Halloween season, so we're going to get into it. For my group ones, please spirit for my group ones, will they die alone? Okay. Some of you may not even want to be in a relationship or get married, and that's fine as well. We have the Two of Swords in reverse. Will my group ones die alone, please, Spirit? Here we have the Moon. I think it's, just to be honest, it's giving it's still up in the air, right? Because we have the Two of Swords coming out in reverse, and the Two of Swords is very much a card of making decisions and like knowing where you want to go, okay? Knowing what decision you're going to make. With this coming out in reverse is kind of like you're still maybe undecided on if you want to be in a relationship or if you want to stay single, right? You're kind of that person who's like, I'm happy on my own and single, but I wouldn't mind being in a relationship, or I don't want to be in a relationship at all. That's the kind of energy that's coming through because this card came out, Two of Swords in reverse. So we have the solitary wolf here crying to the moon because they're lonely. And then after that, the Temperance card wanted to come out. And the Temperance is also an energy of like being in the middle, of keeping a steady balance. So it's like one day you're like, I'm good being single. And then the next day you're kind of like, oh, where's my person kind of energy, right? So it's kind of still up in the air. If you have to decide what you want, I kind of feel like in order for you, because you have to be looking, right? I mean, sometimes, because sometimes it finds you. But I feel like you have to want to fall in love or be in love for love to kind of, listen and be open and come and find you, right? It's kind of like you have to open the door in order for love to come through, And now I'm hearing a song. Where is it from? It's from Vivo, I believe. It's like, I saved you and you saved me Viva, when you found me, I was low as I can be. You lift me up and change my whole something. And I saved you, and you saved me. Viva, when you found me, I was low as I can be. High up, you lift me up so high and change my whole demeanor. Something. So basically the movie is like Vivo, which is the monkey, finds a bird, and he's telling the bird that he's on a mission for love, right? And the bird has kind of given up on love because there's this one other bird in the kingdom or in the forest that he likes, but she doesn't like him back, or he thinks she doesn't. And then after whatever Vivo says to him, he goes on and finds this Valentina bird, and they end up falling in love. Now, when this bird finds Vivo again, he needs help getting to Miami to give this letter to this big pop star who's played by Gloria Estefan in the movie, okay? And the bird is basically saying, you helped me, so I'm going to help you. Because when you found me, I was low as I can be. Now I'm with my love. I found my Valentina. And I've heard about the mission you were on for love. And like his girl is coming in and singing as well. But basically the song, like I said, is about this bird saying, hey, I'm going to help you, Vivo, because you helped me still believe in love and go out there and find my Valentina. And now we're happily in love. And now we want you to help you on your mission for love. Now, Vivo wasn't going to find love, but he was going to give a letter to his previous owner who had passed on's old flame, you know, and the guy never got to see her before he passed away. So now Vivo is giving this letter to this lady, you know. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe like I said, I'm trying to remember the name of the song. Love Saved Me, whatever, but it's from the Vivo soundtrack, the movie on Netflix. And basically what I kind of feel like is, you were low on love. You may meet someone who makes you want to go find love again. And then you're going to be grateful to that person, whether this is you see, it's giving, like I said, Taylor Swift's whole conundrum or situation in the song Fate of Ophelia, where she's like, if you hadn't called for me, I would have stayed here and died in the melancholy. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for you, I would still be believing I'm never going to fall in love, or I'll be single forever kind of thing. So that's kind of what other song is saying as well, you know? I do feel like someone could come into your life and change your beliefs on, I want to stay single, or I want to, you know, fall in love, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what I mean by it's up in the air right now. Okay, will you die alone? Maybe. If you don't actively start looking for love, you know, or putting in the effort. Can I get one more card? That was fast. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you have to want it. The Knight of Cups upright is someone who's chasing love, going after love, seeking love, someone who's putting in the effort and complimenting someone, or like I said, looking, you know, action, putting action behind the whole notion of wanting to fall in love, you know. The Knight of Cups can come through as hopeless romantic card. And because we have already 2 cards in reverse, that already in and of itself is no. So will you die alone? No. But you have to put in the actions in order to find love, is what I'm getting for you guys. Or like make that choice of, yeah, I want to fall in love, and then go and look for this love you want to find, you know? So that's what's coming through here. The moon is also, like I said, signifying loneliness, because the reason why the poor wolf is howling to the moon is because he's lonely, you know? So I do believe you guys are lonely, but you may not be looking for love right now or wanting it, you know? Like I said, one day you're fine being single, the next day you're kind of like, oh, where's my person? Kind of a vibe, okay? So the cards, 2 reversals is no. The moon is also a no. So yeah, will you die alone? No. But let's get into the why you're still single. I kind of feel like we went over that. Don't piss me off. Ooh, you're difficult. That's why. Okay, why are my group 1 still single, please, Spirit? Why are they still single? Why are they still single? You could be someone who is difficult, or you kind of like block your blessings, you know? I was thinking of how I always tell myself I could be in a relationship if I want, but I'm just too picky. Because yesterday I was walking home from the train, and this random guy gonna walk up and start talking to me and asking for my Instagram, and I was like, boy, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I would have the illest attitude because it was late. I wanted to go home and I had work the next day. So I'm like, I don't want to be on the side of the street talking to him. He wasn't even cute. Okay. And I'm like, the amount of times I am approached by people who I don't find attractive or don't want to be with, if I did decide to settle, I would be in a relationship. But the fact that I'm single is because of me. Because I'm like, no, I want to have a specific person. I have, lofty goals and dreams when it comes to love and, stuff like that. So I'm like, if I wanted to be in a relationship, I could be. But the fact that I'm not is of my own doing, is the kind of energy that you guys are giving me as well. Okay, so why are you still single? We have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, because you're looking for something that you can plant and the seed that will bear fruit. You don't want to be in, because I don't know, like that guy was just giving me unserious vibes, okay? And I'm like, you're talking to me on the side of the street because I look good. It's all about looks. It's not about anything else. You're giving someone who's unserious about life, and I'm not. And that's just vibes, right? I feel like the way someone approaches you and the fact that I was like walking by him and I didn't even like noticed that he was calling to me. I know my music was probably too loud and that was not good for me being a girl by myself walking the New York streets, but I was just vibing to, I think it was a Fatal Ophelia actually, which is funny. I was vibing to the song and I'm like, yeah, chilling. And then I think he tried to stop me once and I was not paying attention because my music was too loud. Then he was following behind me. I'm like, if someone ain't trying to show you, like it just be pissing me off, I tell you, okay? But I feel like with the Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles coming out, it's like you're looking for a solid offer. You're not looking for something that's like not gonna last, okay? You're not looking for something that's, just, okay, I'm gonna date you for a few weeks, then we kind of move our separate ways. You're looking for something that's going to bear fruit, okay? A fertile seed, not a bare seed, okay? Why are my group ones still single, please, Spirit? Why are they still single? So you guys, I'm not really getting you've been like brokenhearted or left in the dust by love. It's just getting that you're very picky about or choosy about what you want in love. And until you find that, you're not going to settle down. Because I'm sure another group is going to be like, you're single because you've been hurt and you're not getting over it and you're not healing. You're just you're waiting for a solid offer to come in, one that you can take seriously, Yeah, I'm hearing the part of the song where she's like, keep it 100 on the land, the sea, the sky. Or it's like you're keeping it 100 no matter where we are. You're not giving me 50 when we're here. You're not giving me 60 when we're here. No, you're giving me 100 at all times, right? So you're looking for someone who is going to be invested in, invest. You're giving, I want someone to give me a pentacle and I can do something with that. I want someone to give me empty promises or no money at all kind of energy, And then we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have the 7 of Pentacles. Wow, we have all Pentacles here. So why are you still single? I don't know, because you haven't found someone who can invest in you. That's what I was saying already. The 7 of Pentacles is that energy. The 7 of Pentacles is investment kind of energy, putting in the work, seeing your fruits grow. So you want someone to give you a solid offer, and then you want to see that bear fruit. You want to see all the trees, and you want to see you want to reap some harvest kind of thing, And because you haven't found someone that gave you a solid enough offer with the 10 of Pentacles coming out now, it's kind of like, yeah, you know what, I'm good. Everybody is just too unserious, I haven't found someone that tickles my fancy quite yet. That's why you're still single, not too much. Like I said, you're half in, half out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'll be happy if I stay single, but I'm not, I haven't found what I'm looking for. I haven't found the bait to make me bite the hook, and have someone reel me in. I haven't had that yet. It's just been scraps, and I'm not a scraps girl or a guy or person. I need more than that. You want the whole buffet with the 10 of Pentacles here, right? Or at least the option of a whole buffet with the 7 of Pentacles here, Yeah. So that's why you're still single. I kind of feel like it's straightforward for you guys. And I want to pull for when we meet someone. Please, for my group ones, please, Spirit. When will they meet someone? I have a whole other deck here that I brought to use. I'm not even using it. When will they meet someone, please, Spirit? My group ones. When will they meet someone? What phase of their life will they be in? What time of year will it be? That kind of thing. When will they meet someone? We have the 6 of Pentacles. When you're at I don't know, I heard a standstill. But it's kind of like when you're done giving and you haven't been getting enough, is what I just heard as well. Because the Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take. If people are not giving you the equal amount of energy that you're putting in, you're not going to continue this partnership, friendship, relationship, you know? So I feel like when you meet someone is when you find someone who, like I said, gives you what you need in order to bear some kind of fruit. If you're the seed, you need somebody bringing water and sunlight. You know, I'm bringing something to the table. What are you bringing to the table? And I usually hate that saying because men use it as a way to, you know, gauge whether you're, you know, I guess worth investing in. And that's usually broke people who don't have any money worth investing, right? If you have the money, you wouldn't be asking a woman what you bring to the table because you don't even have a table for her to sit at. If you're wondering how much she makes and what she does for a living, you know? There's curiosity, then there's like someone who's asking because they want someone to take care of them, you know, that kind of energy. Okay, so I feel like for you guys, you'll meet someone when you finally find that person who's giving exactly the amount you're giving, you know, someone who piques your interest. When you find someone who brings something to the table, okay, more than what you already have. If you have your peace of mind, you have your emotional security, you have your physical security, you have a job, you have a house, there's nothing a man can give you that you don't already have, but they find something to give you, is what I kind of feel like is coming through. That's when you're going to find someone. Okay? For, like I said, to put it in layman terms, when you find someone that's worth giving your time to. Okay? That sounds a little high-handed, but I feel like you guys are very high-maintenance people, so that's it. That's life. So the people you're trying to attract. When will you find someone? We have the Hermit. Yeah, when you're not looking, when you're focused on yourself. I do feel like you're the special case where they always say, when you're not looking for love, that's when you find it. That's not the case for everyone. I feel like that is the case for you guys. When you're not looking, literally, when you're giving to yourself, when you're focusing more on work. I'm hearing when you're focusing more on reaping benefits from work. So you're putting in overtime at work to get more money back, right? And you're going to meet someone when you're in a hermit mode, when you're not really looking. Hermit mode also represents like a spiritual evolution or just becoming a better version of yourself. You could be spending time in the gym, making a better body when you're going through a glow up, essentially the hermit card coming through. That's what it's giving me in this reading anyway, you know, when you're focusing on you. See, and what does she say in the song? She says something about me, myself, and I. Yo, let me put the lyrics in front of you right now because I love this song so much. And I was never a Swiftie. Like, I used to abhor Taylor Swift until, like, I started, I was going through a relationship. And her song, All Too Well, the 10-minute version, had me like, yo, she's speaking facts into my life right now. That's when I was like, you know what, I can get behind Taylor. Let me listen to more of her music. And then I started listening to more of her slower songs and, you know, anything that she made that would like tickle my fancy, whatever. And then this new album, I didn't listen to it until like maybe a week ago. And now this song, oh, obsessed. But she's like, I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I. And then after that is right before you lit my sky up. So that part of the song is resonating, I feel like, for your reading, you know? One more card, please, Spirit. One more card. When will they meet someone? When you're focusing on you, yourself, and you. When you're not actively looking, which kind of feels like to me you're in that energy right now. So you could be meeting someone pretty soon. Okay, when will they meet someone? Please, Spirit, when will they meet someone? These are too many. I don't want 3 cards. I'm sorry. When will they meet someone? Please, Spirit, my group ones. When will they meet someone? Did 3 come out again? Spirit, they think I'm not playing with y'all, okay? We have the Queen of Swords. Interesting. Okay, I think when you're, okay, the Queen of Swords in reverse, okay? I gotta be clear about that. When you're in a softer energy, when you're in a softer, more welcoming, or when you're in your, look at the squirrel, oh my gosh, the squirrel is so chunky. Oh my gosh. I did not see that squirrel get there. It's so stealthy. Yes, when you're not expecting it is when it's gonna come in, because I did not see that squirrel coming, and he's so chunky. I wish I could show you guys. He is the chunkiest thing. Get off the windowsill, fool. The cutest thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back on track, okay? The Queen of Swords is an energy of being stone cold, looking at the facts of the situation, speaking your truth, not holding anything back, okay? Being very diligent, okay? Honest, a little cold, very straightforward, right? I do believe it's like giving the Queen of Swords upright for when you meet someone, when you're looking at the logistics of it all, when you're looking at how tall they are, how much they weigh, how much they can bench in the gym, how much money they make, like, how much they can spend on a date. I feel like it's what the Queen of Swords in upright is giving for when will you find love, because she's coming out in reverse. It's when you're entering a more softer era, when you're not being so judgmental. I do feel like the Queen of Swords can come off as someone who's quite judgy. Even this picture of her is giving, leave me alone. You're beneath me kind of energy. The fact that she came out in reverse is kind of telling me, or it is telling me, that you'll meet someone when you kind of soften that sword, that edge, that sharp edge you have when you are speaking nicer to people. You're not being so harsh and blunt all the time and hurting people's feelings. It's kind of giving what I was telling the people. If you have anything bad to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay? If your parents or teachers or whoever didn't teach you that lesson in life, I'll be the one to teach you. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. If a reading doesn't resonate for you, don't say anything at all. There's no reason for you to be in the comments writing these long paragraphs saying this didn't resonate because this, and that. If it didn't resonate, then it wasn't for you. If you were called to one pile and that's the only pile you were called to, the reading wasn't for you if that pile didn't resonate. Don't watch the whole reading and get mad at me because the person you heard about you didn't like. Like, please, don't piss me off. Like, it's just simple common sense. Because there's plenty of times I go watch other people's readings and I'm like, that doesn't really resonate. And as soon as it starts agitating me and making me upset, I leave the reading. I'm not in their comments like, you don't know what you're talking about. I would never be with someone like this. Then the reading wasn't for you. Period. Okay? I kind of feel like you will be the kind of person when you learn to not immediately react and say mean things and like lash out towards people. I feel like that's when love will come in, which is when you're in your hermit mode, not even worry about nobody else but you. Maybe you're healing that part of yourself as well, that wants to speak first and don't think about what you say. And the other card that came out for you guys is, what is this? The Tower in reverse. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like when life starts getting really boring and cool and, chill, the Tower upright is like disaster. Okay? Disaster. And this is kind of giving me another Taylor Swift song from the same exact album. It's Opalite. And I believe in those lyrics, she was like, you were just dancing through the lightning strikes. So the song starts off with her saying her brother, she has a problem with looking in the past at past partners and like staying there, dwelling there. And her brother compared it to digging through the trash, because you already know you've thrown those people away. Why are you still worried about them or looking about them or thinking about them? And then she goes on to say that her mom says, it's okay. You were just dancing through the lightning strike. So things were happening in your life. The storm was raging and you were just, doing what you could with what you had, Emotions are tricky beings. They're tricky beasts. It's not as easy to turn it off and say, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore, or I hate them now. Even though they hurt you, you're still attached to them in some way. And it takes some time for you to detach from that. So yes, you are digging in the trash, like her brother said, but it takes you some time to realize that, hey, I'm eating trash. Yuck, this is disgusting. And when you start training yourself to hate or find the things that those men are doing disgusting, or what they did disgusting, then you finally start curling your upper lip and being like, ew, like, why do they even like that? And then you'll never suffer through that or experience that or let those things slide in the future. And that's how we learn, essentially. So I kind of feel like you guys are going to be doing that, but instead of you like being yuck, get away from me, towards love or people, I feel like when you're in your softer energy, your softer vibe, this Six of Pentacles can also mean when you're in a more receiving energy, receptive energy, feminine energy. That's when when you'll find love. The Hermit is also Virgo energy, so it means working a lot. Could be a thing as well. which was coming through briefly for the Six of Pentacles. You're working more, trying to reap more rewards for your hard work, you know. But the Tower card coming out in reverse, when will you find love, child? I'm telling you, it's going to happen when you least expect it. When you're probably picking up the pieces of something else that fell apart. And I think that's when Taylor, you chose this. Let me stop. She's not single anymore. That's what happened when Taylor met Travis. She was still picking up the pieces of that other dude she was with. I don't even remember who that guy was, honestly. The British guy, you know. She wrote her album, got her all the emotions out, and was moving on and saying, I'm going to be an old cat lady for the rest of my life. And here came Travis Kelce, changing her story, you know. I think that's going to be for you. You're going to be focused on your work, your friends, your life, you know, and then someone's going to come and find you, okay? So let us move on. Anything else? Like, we went over everything. Will you die alone? That was a no. Why are you still single? We went over that. Will you be single forever? We went over that, kind of. When will you meet someone? Went over that. So I guess we'll just, you know, pull some advice from this deck here and see what they have to say. I did want to learn more about, I guess, who you'll be meeting. Since the song is called The Fatal Ophelia, like, who are you fated to be with? A little bit about them, then we'll get some guidance, I guess. So please, for my group ones, wow, see, these cards are always quite talkative. We have the Three of Ghosts. Someone who is very jolly. It didn't want to come out in reverse, so someone who is not so jolly. We have the Tower. Interesting. Maybe you're going to be dealing with a little bit of an opposites attract kind of person, because we have the Tower that came through for when you'll meet someone, then we have this person coming through with the Tower upright. So when you're in a Tower in reverse position, you're going to be attracting someone who's going through a Tower. I don't know. Your person can be a little bit chaotic because the Tower card is chaos, you know. This person can have like a very stormy personality, right? Where it always seems like they're sad and brooding. And that would make sense as to why the Three of Cups came out in reverse. So we'll leave it like that. That makes a little bit of sense. Someone who's maybe a little bit broody, reserved. I'm not getting shy, but standoffish. So it's funny how as soon as you turn into a more soft, receptive energy, you attract someone who's very broody and closed off, and the opposite of that. So that's why you meet this person when you're softer, so they could be the masculine of the connection. So you could be the soft, feminine, and they can be the masculine, right? Here we have the Ace of Pumpkins. A lot of the same cards are coming out for you guys from what was coming through in your reading. We have the Ace of Pumpkins, which is the Ace of Pentacles coming through. Okay, I do believe this person is serious about finding love, even if they may be a little bit, you know, withdrawn, a little bit broody, a little bit stormy, you know. I do believe that they're going to offer you something solid because they have that steady foundation, you know, that all people need in order to kind of be in love. Like, you don't have to be perfect and life is going amazing for you to be in love, but you have to be somewhat, I feel like, stable in your energy and who you are, right? And I think this person knows who they are. They're very strong, okay? This person could have some kind of money or something. Why am I getting... Okay, so you know those books where the people or the guy is not looking for anything serious, right? And he kind of propositions the feminine character or the heroine in the book like, hey, I'm not looking for nothing serious. Let's just, you know, hook up and see where things go. And then they end up falling in love, right? I think that's kind of the vibe coming through here. That could be how you meet someone. They intend it to be not serious, but it ends up being serious, you know? But they're giving you an offer of, hey, I don't want anything serious. Do you want to, you know, be in this proposition with me, you know? And you either say yes, you either say no. I think that could be coming through for not everybody, but for a few people here. So what more can you tell me about the person who they fated to be with? We have the King of Imps. Someone who attracts a lot of attention but doesn't like attention on them. Yeah, this person's very attractive, but they may not like being attractive, you know? the kind of guy who wants to fade into the background, but he can't. I'm gonna Keanu Reeves kind of energy here, where he's like so attractive, he's so like well-meaning, so down to earth. I do believe after his, I believe, wife and child passed away, he was like, I'm never gonna fall in love, I don't want to get married, I don't want to settle down, until he met his now fiance, who kind of changed his perspective on that. And that would be tying into what I was saying before of them not wanting anything serious and propositioning you to just have fun or be friends or whatever. And then it turns into more than that, right? So yeah, Keanu Reeves is definitely someone who doesn't like all the attention that he gets, but he's such a good guy that he gets it anyway. You know, some people have that thing about them, right? This person could be like long hair, artist kind of person, moody, like that's the kind of energy coming through. This person could be an actor, they could be a singer-songwriter, they could be an actual artist or a sculptor. That's the kind of energy this person's giving. I'm so sorry, because I have this thing in my hair that keeps making noises. It's pissing me off. Okay. This person could be sensitive to noises as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. This person has like a beard, and they could be a little bit scruffy and long hair and that unkempt, messy look to them. And they're kind of like, I don't want anyone to look at me. And no matter how ragged they look, they still come off as attractive. That's the kind of person coming through here. They don't want to call attention to themselves, but attention is called to them anyway, you know? At the bottom of the cards, we have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands, for, I guess, when it comes to someone who's very outgoing, someone who has plans, someone who is going places in life, someone who has plans to go places, someone who's very passionate about the places they want to go. You can be getting a traveler, or someone who has like, I'm going to be a billionaire by the time I'm 50 years old, or I want to have my art in the Louvre. Do they showcase art there? I believe they do. Like, I want to have my art shown in the Smithsonian one day, or whatever art people want their art to be shown in a gallery. I want to have my own gallery in so-and-so places, you know, or someone who wants to be on Broadway. I'm going to be on Broadway by the time I'm 25 and I'm going to make it, and that kind of thing. That's the kind of ambition this person has, okay? Just a bit about them. Now we'll move these cards up, and now we'll get some cards from this deck. So keep the book out. Okay. These cards are so cute. They're also runes and animals mixed together. One more shuffle. Can we get one more card to end the reading for my group ones, please, for anything they need to know? We have Fehu, which is the squirrel is still outside, and we have a squirrel with the acorn. How freaking cute is that? The squirrel is like the main character of this reading. The squirrel said, hey, I'm going to pop up out of nowhere and scare you with my cuteness. And you don't know how I got here. So squirrels could be important. Maybe you'll see squirrels when you meet this person. Fehu, squirrel is number 2. Give me a second. Because I'm not that good with runes yet. Okay? I'm going to get there one day. So I don't know what that even means. Is it associated with Freya? Maybe? Okay, so the hardworking and energetic red squirrel holds aloft her golden acorn, a lucky discovery after a successful forage. It takes effort, but she is richly rewarded and her family is well fed. Red squirrels need to be careful about hoarding all her nuts in one place. Her treasures are safer when spread around a little. Fehu is a high energy rune, and it brings luck and fortune. Yeah, this person could have some money, especially if they have like a good job or something, or this person's destined for greatness, or they're someone who, like I said, is determined to be wealthy and make money no matter what they have to do. And I love how this is coming through. And I was talking about Keanu Reeves, and I saw a movie with him yesterday in theaters called Good Fortune. So it's kind of like all coming full circle. We have the squirrel outside the window, the squirrel coming through here, and me talking about Keanu, then the 𝐓𝐻 rune talking about good luck and fortune. Then I was talking about Keanu, which was who stars in the Good Fortune movie, you know? So maybe a lot of synchronicities are going to be happening. That was a very cute movie, though. If you want to watch it, that could have some significance to you as well. It is about, I'm not even going to tell you, go watch it, because we're going to be here forever if I do. So, as the first rune of the first Ayet, I don't know how to pronounce that word, AETT, somebody know how to tell me how to pronounce it in the comments. It speaks of beginnings. This is the rune that refers to movable property like money or possessions. In readings, it references prosperity, in particular that achieved through your own efforts. Yeah, successful. It can indicate financial security and successful business, property, and asset negotiations. 𝐓𝐻 can also mean reduced financial problems and unexpected good fortune. It is a sign of hope and plenty, success, and happiness. Okay, so wealth, luck, abundance, energy, and fertility. So you could be meeting this person when you're making more money. I do believe this person does make quite a bit of money, so we have that coming through. This person could be the person who's had like ridiculous good luck on their life and they ended up rich and famous and beautiful and they didn't really want it. You know, it's kind of giving someone who's an actor because they love to act and not because they wanted to be rich, but everyone loves them. They have all this money. I think Keanu Reeves is the perfect example, honestly. I'm gonna just leave it at that, right? Someone who doesn't really want the money or care for the money. He's just doing what he loves. And he didn't ask to be born attractive, but he is. And every girl loves him and wants him and that kind of thing. And he kind of like does his own thing, minds his business, you know, doesn't really have that presence of an air of superiority to them. Very much like wallflower vibes, would rather sit on the edge and watch everyone else, but very wealthy, very gorgeous, that kind of energy coming through. Okay, so you're not going to be single forever, child, right? When you're making a lot of money, that could be what this 𝐓𝐻 rune represents as well. When your family is doing good, when your business is doing good, that's when you'll meet this person. Because I do believe there could be a tie to career with how you meet this person. Because when it came to when will you meet someone, a lot of pentacles came through. And the first one was 6 of Pentacles. So when you guys are at equal stages in your life, if that makes sense, whatever that may mean, your jobs are both going well and you meet through work, right? You meet at a family function, they're out having a good time celebrating with family, and so are you. That kind of energy when you're on the same wavelength. Or even, yeah, you're on the same energy field or you're on the same level, right? If you're on level 5 and they're on level 10, you're not going to be able to meet them because you're on the 5th floor, they're on the 10th floor, right? When you guys are both on the 10th floor, that's when you meet this person. So when you get rich, when they get rich, if you're already rich, right? That kind of thing, okay? But there is wealth that is talked about in this reading. So I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, be kind. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 2s. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today, whether you chose thumbnail image 2 or option 2, however you got here. So today's reading is going to be, well, it's inspired by the song The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. It's my new obsession. I was never a Swiftie until this song. That's a lie. I feel like All Too Well, the 10-minute version, kind of altered my brain chemistry when I was going through a situation so similar to that. And then I started liking Taylor Swift. But this, Fate of Ophelia, it's like she always knows what a bitch is going through, child. That's what I feel like she be doing. And I'm like, I can't not like you, girl. So I'm transitioning, I guess we could say, into a Swiftie. But that's neither here nor there, okay? This song inspired me to do a reading about basically, will you die alone? Will you stay single forever? That kind of thing. Why are you still single? Because as I'm listening to the song, I'm like hearing how she's like, I thought after like my last breakup that I would be single forever and I would die in purgatory. I would be this Ophelia character who tragically passed away in the Hamlet Shakespeare play, okay? So just thinking about it and hearing things from her perspective, one thing she always gonna do is get you in your feels, okay? And when I heard the song, I'm like, you know what? I can get behind this. And then it's been on repeat. And like a few of my other videos that I posted recently, these songs are inspiring readings. So I'm going to go with it. Okay, I have The Man I Need, Olivia Dean. What kind of man do you need if you're interested? Then I have Where the Hell is My Husband? That was inspired by the Ray song. And now this reading, if you're single, it's going to be giving why you still single, will you ever meet someone, that kind of thing. And based on what we get, when will you meet someone, right? And then, you know what I mean? That's it. I did also get a little bit about who this person will be, you know, that you fall in love with, your fated partner, because she talks about the fate of Ophelia. So who's your fated person, who you're meant to be with? We're going to get to know a little bit about them towards the end of the reading, and then that will be it. So let's get straight into it. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Okay. I'm hearing some of you could be chanting, manifesting, praying, like singing, shouting, like you're trying to manifest love for real. Whereas group one was like, if it comes in, it comes in. I'm good on my own. You guys are like, where's my person? Oh my gosh. You know, that kind of energy. I'm getting that. Like, you're asking, you're out of breath. It's kind of giving me and my best friend, we have like a running joke where it's like, God is not answering our calls anymore. We're being sent straight to voicemail. I mean, he answered her call because she booed up, but me, I'm still sitting here like, so God, it's me again. What's going on here? Like, he's been ignoring me. So I'm like, that's the kind of energy coming through. You're talking, you're asking, you're praying, and this man or this person still ain't here. So let's see why you're single. You know what really inspired this reading? I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was this notion that there's a reason why all the people that you meet, it doesn't go anywhere, because you're meant to wait for like your one true love. It's going to show you why you were single for so long. I feel like my group twos are giving has never been in a relationship, which is why praying and chanting. Maybe you're praying, chanting, pranting. You know, maybe you're panting. Like, where is it? You're getting a little nervous, a little anxious because you're like, I've never been in a relationship. I'm getting older. Like, why have never been in love? Where's my person? And like I said, the notion that inspired this reading was most people are kept single for a reason, because you have a higher purpose, you have a higher level soul, but you're not supposed to be out here dealing with these, every few months you find someone, you date them for a few months and they leave. Like, you're meant to stay single, focus on you, do what you need to do because you have a higher purpose, a higher soul level, but soulmate level purpose. Like, you're meant to do something big with a partner. That's the kind of energy I'm getting from you guys. So if that resonates, you know, this may be your reading. If it doesn't, then maybe you can still watch, you know, but it may not resonate as fully, you know, because I'm getting someone who's like, where's my person? Like, I'm getting tired. And then, like I said, I'm remembering why I did the reading in the first place. Yeah, I was inspired by the fatal Ophelia, but not fully. It was inspired by my notion that, hey, some people are kept single for so long, and every person they meet, it doesn't go anywhere. You meet someone, you think something's going to happen, nothing happens. And that so on and so forth for years and years and years to come. I can attest to that. And it's kind of like, why everybody else out here in a relationship and I'm just sitting here single as F. It's annoying. And I thought, okay, maybe there's someone you're truly supposed to meet that, like, the first time you meet them, it's over. You know they're going to be the person you spend the rest of your life with. And you're not supposed to be out here with these little 3-minute connections. You're meant to be, like, in a full, like, how can I say it? Lifetime connection, essentially. So that's enough blabbering. I'm sorry. I just feel like I want to give, like, a little bit of a backstory to this reading, because I do feel like you guys are like, oh my gosh, where's my person? Okay, so the question we're asking is, will you die alone? Basically, will you be single forever? I'm sorry. It's not funny. Yeah, y'all are serious about love, guys. I appreciate that. Most people are kind of like, I don't want love anymore. I love people who are hopeless romantics, okay? Like myself. So we have all these cards in reverse. It's kind of pissing me off because these cards just keep coming out reverse, y'all. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Knight of Wands. Interesting. I've never had two knights come out back to back like this. Okay, so I'm using the Horror Tarot because it still is, you know, Halloween season, spooky season. So let's get into it. Will you die alone? With the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands in reverse, I feel like they both mean different things. So the fact that they're both in reverse is kind of like, huh? So the Knight of Pentacles, if this were, I mean, basically, what I can say is when you're asking the tarot cards a yes or no question, if they come out in reverse, they mean no. Okay? That is, I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be, right? That could be something you do as well. 2 cards in reverse is saying, no, you're not going to die alone or be single forever, okay? Now, if we go deeper into why these cards are in reverse, we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is something here about taking your time, okay? It's kind of like not rushing things. You're meant to be, how can I describe it? It's kind of like strolling. Instead of running or chasing something, you're meant to be strolling through life. You're meant to be taking your time. You're meant to be learning. You know, you're not meant to be staggering towards the finish line, which is probably why we have these cards in reverse. Because then we also have the Knight of Wands, which I said is an opposite energy of the Knight of Pentacles. So the fact that they're both in reverse is kind of like, huh, why, you know? Knight of Pentacles upright, taking your sweet time. Coming up in reverse is kind of like, you know, moving things faster. Maybe there's something here, like I said, about you trying to rush the process, and this is meant to take its sweet time, you know? I'm being called to how, I feel like my excuse is the fact that I have Saturn on my first house, and my first house is like my destiny. That's my ascendant, who I'm ascending into, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of like, anybody who has Saturn in the first house, Saturn on their ascendant, things going to take a long time to come to fruition. It's going to take a long time for you to like fully benefit or see the fruits of your labor. It's going to take a long time for you to fully realize and therefore embody who you are and who you're supposed to be. It's going to take a long time. I also have Saturn on my 10th house, which is your public image and your long-term career. And I'm still sitting here like, what do I want to be when I'm older? That's the kind of energy coming through for you guys, where things are supposed to take their sweet time. And instead of rushing it, you're supposed to savor being single, you know? It's not supposed to be a punishment. It's not supposed to be something that you're kind of like waiting in agony or in purgatory. It's supposed to be a good thing, and you're kind of making it a bad thing. You're rushing towards something when you're supposed to be taking your sweet time. This kind of vibe that's coming through. So no, you're not going to die alone, okay? Will they die alone? One more card, please. Oh, not the card back enough. Will my group 2 die alone, please, Spirit? Will they die alone? Will they be single forever? Die alone sounds crazy. Like I'm going to try to use it as like an attention grabber to title the video, but there's no need for me to continuously say it throughout the reading. It just sounds a little, you know. So my group 2s, please, Spirit, my group 2s. Will they be single forever? And then we have one in reverse. I mean, one upright, sorry. The Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is like a resounding yes, okay? Or a no. How can I describe it? Not saying yes, you're going to be single forever, but it's kind of like no, clarity will come, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Oh my gosh, okay, yeah. So, will you be single forever? No. You will be shown the light. You will see the other side of the darkness, okay? You will see the other side of this singledom, right? This purgatory that you've been in. The same way Taylor in the song saw the other side of singledom. She thought she was going to be a cat lady for the rest of her life. And Travis came in and said, no, sir. And it's not until you reach that point of, oh my gosh, I'm never going to find someone that someone kind of comes your way. We don't know the outcome of their relationship, if they're going to get married, if they're going to make it to the long run. But it's kind of like as soon as you're ready to give up, something happens and comes in. You know what I mean? As soon as you're kind of thinking, I'm never going to meet someone, you kind of have this epiphany moment. And that's kind of like what I've been having so far. I've known my whole life that I'm not into sleeping around or having wham bam thank you ma'ams or having friends with benefits and stuff like that. No, I'd rather be celibate. I'd rather be on my own. I'd rather be minding my business than unhappy in a connection or with someone who's immature and can't handle a connection kind of thing. And that's what I feel like most people do. They settle for someone just to say they're in a connection and say that they're happy, but they're really not. They're just afraid of being alone, you know? And it's kind of like, I'd rather be by myself on my own, not worried about what some man is or is not doing out there in these streets, someone that I can't trust. you know, and then just to say I'm in a relationship. No, I don't think that's like for everyone. You know, being single is not for everyone. Some people, like, of course, there's extenuating circumstances as to why they may feel like they can't be alone, stuff like that. There may be some mental health issues coming through here, abandonment issues, whatever it may be, right? But I'm like, I'd rather be single, and I've been single my whole life, guys, and I'm 29. So, and I'm happy. Life is good out here. And I just know I'm taking my sweet time. But the more you learn about yourself, the more it's kind of like, why every time I find someone, I think something's going to happen and something never happens. It's not rejection. It's protection in a sense of the word. Because I know I'm meant to have a big fairy tale magical love story. And it's not going to happen with any of those guys that was coming my way. So that's why Spirit was like, nope, nope, no. They're helping you dodge bullets, right? So that's the kind of energy I'm getting for you guys. Maybe you resonate with being single for your whole life. Maybe you resonate with being single for years and years and years. Maybe you resonate with not wanting to settle, not wanting to be with just anyone, that kind of thing. Enjoying your own company as opposed to being in a connection where you don't trust that person. You're always like, what is it called? Out of sorts. You know what I mean? So will you be single forever? No. No, there will be a big, like, epiphany moment that comes into your life. It could be you realizing that, hey, Spirit is not rejecting my answers for, you know, love. They're simply just honing them into one person, you know? Maybe the person that you're meant to be with isn't fully who they're meant to be yet. And that could be the same for you. That was coming through in another reading. I think it was a reading I did on Where the Heck is My Husband? Where it's like, you need to be at a specific place, they need to be at a specific place, and then you guys can meet each other at the right time. If you were to meet them as you are now, it wouldn't work because either they're not fully where they're meant to be or you're not fully where you're meant to be, right? So we've established you're not going to be single forever. Okay, but why are you still single? That's a good question. Let's ask that next. Why are my group 2 still single? Please, Spirit, why are they single? Why are they single, please, Spirit? My group 2s. Why are the cards acting up? So we have the Judgment card in reverse. Yeah, because you're not ready to be called upon, right? The Judgment card is when, or what I like to think of it as, for those of you who do not believe in like Christianity or whatever, that's what I grew up with. So that's where I draw my examples from. The Judgment was meant to be when Jesus comes back to earth and awakens all of us and takes us to the promised land or whatever it's called, heaven, essentially, right? But see, what I never understood when they told us about it in Sunday school is, do we get taken after we pass? Or do we have to sit there in darkness until he comes, until he returns? Like, that's what I never understood, right? Because if we're being taken to the promised land, shouldn't we go right after we pass away if we did good in our life and we did what we needed to do? Or is it we have to lie in darkness for the next 100 years if that's how long it takes for him to come back? That's what I never understood. But what I do understand about it is that Judgment Day happens when he comes back and rises all of our souls up and takes us with him to heaven, right? And that's why it's representing the awakening. You haven't been awoken yet. It's not time for you to wake up yet. It's not time for you to experience these things. You're waiting for something. There has to be some epiphany, some stroke of lightning kind of energy. It's funny because when I was shuffling the cards, I have the lyrics on the screen in front of me. I was looking at the lyrics, and the ones that kept drawing my attention was, I heard you calling on the megaphone, right? And then I was thinking about an episode of Buffy where I think it was when Spike, yeah, see, this is funny. When Spike, it was finally fed up with Buffy, and he was like, let me know when you finally bloody do suss out what you want. There's going to be a freaking parade and bloody, did he say trombones or like speakerphones or whatever? But basically, it's at the end of the musical episode. And so far in season 6, which is the season the musical episode happens, Buffy has been like pulling Spike along on a string. Like, I want to be with you, come screw my brains out, and then leave me alone. I'm too ashamed of the attraction or the love that I feel towards you to tell my friends and family. So it's a little secret, you know? And like I said, at the end of that one episode, it's kind of like, the day you bloody do suss out what you want, there's going to be a freaking parade. a bloody trombones and da da da. So basically he's saying when you finally figure out what you want, it's gonna be a whole parade. It's gonna be like freaking, it's like 4th of July weekend. All the fireworks are blowing up. Everyone's celebrating and having a good time, or New Year's Day, essentially. And I feel like the reason why you're single is because you haven't had that moment yet where in all the books we read as romance girlies or hopeless romantics, where you meet someone and you touch their hand and there's fireworks. When you kiss them and you feel it out throughout your body. Like, you haven't had that experience yet, so you're going to be single until you do have that, because you're meant to have a once-in-a-lifetime love story, right? For you guys, group 2. Not everybody, but you guys. Which is why you're being kept waiting for so long, because when you do finally get it, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be a story for the ages, right? Which is why this whole album has been dedicated to Travis Kelce for Taylor Swift, because she thought after all the mess ups and screw ups and hiccups that she experienced in her love life, that she wasn't going to find nobody else after that, child. And then here comes Travis, and he said, hey, here I am. And somebody, because I work at part-time at a dance company, and we did the Taylor Swift album last week when I was working, and that's how I heard this song, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I like this, you know? But basically, one of the girls there loves Taylor Swift, is definitely a Swiftie. She was telling me the whole story about Travis and Taylor, and how Travis, like, wanted to meet her for the longest time, and was, like, putting feelers out there. And I guess when she wouldn't respond to his feeler, that he thought she wasn't interested. But it took how long for them to finally meet each other? Because I feel like every time he may have like put feelers out, she was in a relationship. Taylor was a child. She was always in a relationship, child. You know what I mean? Anyway, not too much on her. Let's focus, right? It wasn't the right time for them. He needed to go through some lessons. She needed to go through all her lessons, child, because she had a lot of them. And then finally, when she was like, okay, I'm going to stay single, I'm not going to try to be looking for love no more, that's when he came in, right? You see where I'm going with this? If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Child, it's giving how you're meant to have this. And I think they did have like a whirlwind love story. They met, then she started coming to all his games. Then they were like, oh my gosh, always putting up pictures and seen everywhere and being all lovey-dovey. And I think from what I know and from what I've seen of Taylor in relationships over the years, she's never been that kind of public lovey-dovey person. And then she met Travis and they were boom everywhere. You wasn't seeing her not at a game. Like, she was giving, Stepford housewife, and he was giving Stepford house husband kind of energy. And then it's kind of like things kind of went quickly, and now they're engaged. That's the kind of energy that's coming through for you, where it's going to happen, where it's like a firework. It's going to happen like this person screaming at you through a megaphone. You're going to be like, or the connection with this person is going to be screaming at you through a megaphone, and it's going to be kind of hard to ignore. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting anyway. I could be wrong, but I feel like I like to go with my intuition. What my intuition is saying is that you are being kept single for so long, whether you've been in, short-term relationships, situationships, you haven't been completely single because, we be talking to people sometimes, whatever. It's like you've been kept single, which means you are not booed up, wifed up, anything, because of this, like, parade that's supposed to happen when you finally do meet someone. Not saying I agree, but that's what I'm getting. Because I definitely don't agree, child. I want to meet my man when I'm 19, get married when I'm 21, have a baby by the time I'm 25. Like, I had plans, guys, and my plans are all up in smoke. So I understand your frustration, child. It's ghetto, but I'm sure it'll all make sense at the end of the day. Okay, Jesus Christ, the cards. Why are they still single? We have the 10 of Wands. Interesting. Because, I don't know, it's bothering you too much. Like, it's something you want it too badly. That's kind of what I'm getting. It's kind of smelling or reeking of desperation. And that's why it's not coming to you. Because from what I've learned over the years, is when you are too closely attached to something, or when you're wanting it from a scarcity mindset, you're not going to get it. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I want to be a billionaire because I'm so broke right now, it's rare that you're going to be a billionaire, because you need to be in an energy of, I'm a billionaire, I deserve this, I was born for this, instead of, I just need it, I'm so desperate, da, 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 that kind of energy. That's not going to attract wealth. You know, desperation not going to attract love either. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a very unattractive trait for someone to have. So if you want to be seen as attractive, but you're exhibiting unattractive tendencies, it's kind of like you're repelling what you want instead of attracting it. You know, it's always the people who don't even want love or is not really looking for it that it seems to happen to. And the long-term happy ones, you know what I mean? Because I feel like my example would be like maybe Lucky, is his name Smith and Nara Smith? Yeah, where they met when they were like, what is it, 19 or 17 or something? And she dang sure wasn't looking for no lover at that age. You know, it would be nice, but she was like, I feel like I was ready to settle down so young because I already had my party girl stage long time. I wasn't someone who was ever desperate for love or wanted to settle down. I sowed my wild oats. And then I was chilling. Then I met Lucky. And then, you know, we had like a connection and we were friends for a long time. And he was telling me, oh, that I want to be with you. And he flew me out, or he came to see me. And it's the first time he came to see me, we knew. He cried when he left me. Like, I think it's all in there. They have like a YouTube video up, like explaining how they met. And I'm like, nah, he cried when he left you and he only met you for one time. Like, you know, they've been trying to meet up for, I think, a while because she was a model, he was a model, and their schedules didn't always align. And he was also a father at the time, a young father. So it was kind of hard to meet up, and they finally did, and he didn't want to leave, and there was an attachment. And now they have this beautiful love story where they're 4 kids in, child. You know what I mean? They just moved to some house in Connecticut. Why do I know so much about this couple? Oh my gosh. TikTok will really have you in people's business, child. But yeah, they have this beautiful house. Like, she has this beautiful life, but she does still go through things. She's not like, you know, perfect. She has like physical ailments, stuff like that. But I feel like their story was so beautiful, and it came because it was easy. It wasn't anything they were like fiending for. And that can be the energy of the 10 of Wands, which is kind of like, oh my gosh, like this hasn't happened yet. Where is it coming from? No matter how long it takes, still be in this light of heart energy, this hopeless romantic energy where it's going to happen any moment. And I feel like that is a better energy to sit in than, oh my gosh, it's been 10 years. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Why are you still single? Then we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. I don't know. The Ace of Cups represents love, or the budding of love. The beginnings of it anyway. Why are you still single if it's coming out in reverse? The first thing I heard was self-love, right? So maybe you don't love yourself enough, or you're not pouring enough into yourself. It's kind of like your cup is empty because we have the cup turned all the way over. So the cup isn't even full to pour into yourself. How you expect to pour into somebody else, that kind of thing, you know? So maybe you need to incorporate more self-love practices, that kind of thing, into your life. The 10 of Wands is you're tired. And it's either tired of waiting or just tired of life in general. You're broken down and tired. You're weary. That could also be an energy. If you're weary of love and you're scared of it and you don't really want it, or you're scared of being hurt by it, it's more likely that you're gonna unintentionally screw up a connection. It's kind of reminding me of, I was watching a video by, what's her name? Jasmine's Garden on TikTok, and she was like how it was important. She said she would recommend to anyone, a woman particularly, that if you could afford to have both a woman and a man therapist, she would highly recommend it, because there was something about having a man therapist that kind of opened her mind to a few things. So she was like, it's easy for you to think when you're in a toxic connection and you're the healthiest one in that connection, that you're going to be healthy in every connection you know go into. But when you meet someone who is healthier than you, it triggers you, and then you kind of become the toxic one. Because she was like, when she met her then fiance, I remember Jasmine when she was single. I remember who she was, and I see how who she is now, right? The person she was before was all about giving them before they got you, right? And that's basically what she said when she went to this, I forget the man's name, but he's like a TikTok or whatever. He's a psychiatrist or something on social media. So he helped other people as well. And she kind of like started seeing him as a therapist, right? And he was telling her, when she told him that she was in this new connection and this guy's like being too nice, and she's kind of like getting triggered and figuring like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? Like, I know from past connections, when you're too nice, I'm skeptical. So she's kind of like, do I have to like is he tricking me? And do I have to try to trick him before he tricks me or whatever? Kind of, that's what she was kind of saying. And the doctor was like, since you want to be so creative, how about you think of you going a little crazy, right? And instead of him trying to trick you, he comes and sits next to you, right? And then the next time he comes, he brings snacks. And then he learns all the past, and he learns when you're getting anxious before it happens because he pays attention. How about you think of him in that way? You think of the best that could happen, since you want to be so blasted creative, but your thoughts going haywire. Think of the best that could happen before you think of the worst that could happen, right? And there could be an energy of you being weary of love before it even comes to you. So it's like kind of like, it doesn't repel, but it's kind of like, I don't know, you could self-sabotage before you even get the love. It's kind of like, oh no, this is too good to be true. Throw it away. I don't trust it. Or even when you do get it, oh, when is the other shoe gonna drop, kind of thing. I do recommend you watch the video by Jasmine. I think it was very helpful for me because it gave me a perspective that I never like imagined. I'm like, can I be the toxic one? I'm used to be the healthy one. But if I ever meet my man and he's more healed than me, will I be out here doing toxic stuff? Maybe. I don't know. It never happened to me. But it could be you self-sabotage yourself and start doing stuff and saying stuff and pushing this person away. And it's kind of like Spirit's like, nah, you can't be in that energy when you want this true forever love, this fairy tale love, because you're going to mess it up. Okay, so I think that's what's coming through for you guys. So why you're single, don't want to spend too much time on that because we have other stuff to get into in the reading. I want to get into when will you meet someone, your someone specifically. So please, Spirit, when they meet their someone, we have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, the Queen of Cups is not scared of love. She's not scared of all the emotions that come with love, good or bad. She's sitting here drinking from them. She's drunk on them, okay? She freely gives love and she doesn't hold any back, okay? We have the Ace of Swords coming through again, but we're going to turn it over. When will you meet someone, when you're able to be in this energy of, I just want to live in love and, you know, be soft, be vulnerable is the word I'm hearing, and allow myself to the opportunity to get hurt. Because if you're always on your guard, you're never truly going to be able to get hurt because there's always a party that's going to think, oh, I knew that was coming, you know? When will they meet someone? What phase of life will they be in? Like, what will they be doing? How will they be acting when they meet someone, please, Spirit? So you can kind of see if you're anywhere close to this energy, right? We have the Sun. The Queen of Cups and the Sun is such a cutesy energy. I love this. The Queen of Cups is sitting here drinking her wine, minding her business. Like, I don't know. There's something here about just sitting pretty in the feminine form and allowing men to just come and worship at your altar. It's kind of like putting wine out at the altar and having your ancestors come in, take a little sip, and then give you like gifts or help you out in the spirit world, that kind of thing. I love that. Maybe becoming a little bit more spiritual, more comfortable in your spirituality to where your intuition is at peak. So you know when you have to let your guard down and you know when you don't have to let your guard down. You know what I mean? The Sun card, why you look like that for? I don't like that. So when will you welcome somebody in? The Sun, when you're happy. I think the Queen of Cups is also happiness as well. When you're comfortable with who you are and where you're at in life, you know? Where it's like you're not like fiending for it. You're waking up and that's the first thing you think of. Where's my person? What are they doing? It's kind of like you wake up, you stretch, you meditate a little bit, go eat a healthy breakfast, go for a run. Like when you could spend like hours at a time not thinking about, where's this person coming? Like when are they coming in? Like when it's not giving you anxiety anymore. The Queen of Cups doesn't deal in anxiety. She deals in happy, healthy, regulated nervous systems. That's what she deals in. She's drinking her wine, child. She chilling, you know? The Sun card is also that vibe as well. And I'm seeing how in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, like we have the baby on the back of the horse, just like riding and rodeoing. Maybe ride a horse. I just heard ride a horse, save a cowboy. I know that's right, child. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Flirt just to flirt. Make people smile. When you become that magnetic energy that attracts stuff, that's the sun as well. When you're just so magnetic and charming and happy, it shows. When you're comfortable in your self-confidence is the sun as well. It shows. Like, just embody the best impression of a Leo that you can muster up. Full of heart, full of pride, and I mean, you're proud of yourself, not pride where it's like, I'm too proud for this. No. Pride in yourself, what you've accomplished, how you look, who you've become. I think that kind of energy attracts people the best. And that's why some people attract love younger than others do, because they know who they are at a younger age than other people do. And that is also tying into the whole astrology, birth chart, the kind of life you've had, and healing the kind of life you have if it's been traumatic and not the best. Because those behaviors you learned when you were in survival mode, you cannot bring into a healthy connection, I'm telling you. And like, to bring it back to the Nara Smith comparison, she grew up in a happy, healthy 2-parent household in Germany. Like, she grew up chilling, right? She grew up, I'm pretty sure there's stuff she had to deal with, but it's like, she knew a man's role, she knew the woman's role. And now she's in this marriage where she's doing the womanly things, but also Lucky is as well. She does some of the more active, masculine things, and so does he. And it just always reminds me how anytime I'm watching one of her videos, whenever it comes to like opening a bottle, or she's struggling for something, when things get hard and too tired for her, she has no problems relinquishing those duties to Lucky. Okay, when she's opening a jar of something and it's too tight, he'd be standing right next to her. She hands it to him and she don't say nothing. He already know, okay, I'm opening it for you. Then there was a video I was watching yesterday where she was talking about being postpartum and how her family flew out there on the next flight to I guess wherever they live, to help her with the baby, and they're making her food and making sure she rests and stuff like that. And then we got to the part of the video where they were making the bed, and she was like, this is my least favorite part because I feel like making a bed is an all-body sport, and Lucky took over right away. Like, letting that man do manly stuff because you're a woman and you know your place, right? Not even to bring it down to traditional roles. It's kind of like, if he want to do something, let him do it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be happy and be healthy, right? The sun represents life and vitality. Take care of your physical body and take care of your mental one. When will you meet someone? You can meet someone out in the sun, in the daytime, when you're drinking, having a good old time. She might have business too as well. Her eyes closed, because she's not expecting anything. Her nervous system is quite just like, Here we have the King of Cups. We have the King and the Queen of Cups, period. Yeah, when you regulate that masculine and feminine energy to you. And then here we have the Four of Wands in reverse. What I'm kind of getting from this card here, since we have a couple in Holy Matrimony on the card, when you release the obsession with being in love. I mean, you can want love. That's amazing. But being obsessed with it and placing your entire happiness on that notion of, I'm going to fall in love. My life doesn't begin until I fall in love. My life doesn't begin until I get married. That's not the healthiest. Because your life should be full and happy. And this person should only add to it. They should not be the sole, responsibility of your happiness, So when you're happy, when you're healthy, when your emotions are fully your own and you're fully in control of them, right? So it's giving you've healed, you've talked, you've purged, and you've ascended, because we have both cup suits here, and the cups have to do with emotions. So when you meet someone, your emotions are balanced on the feminine perspective, and then it's also balanced on the masculine perspective as well, or on the masculine side of things. You know what I mean? Showing emotion versus not showing emotion. Overindulging versus not indulging. I mean, having boundaries. You know what I mean? The King of Cups kind of gives me the teacher of how to control your emotions. Giving men, maybe when you become your own therapist, not even your own therapist. I don't want to sound like that. You should be able to talk to other people about your emotions. But it's kind of like when you become fully in control of your emotional realm. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to keep over-explaining and then make it more confusing. Okay, that's when you'll find someone. When did we get to 35 minutes? Jesus Christ. Let's get a little bit about your person. Who are you fated to be with, please, Spirit? Who are my group? Ooh, that was ghetto. Who are my group 2s fated to be with, please, Spirit? Why does the cards keep doing that? Don't piss me off. Jeez Louise. Maybe I was being too aggressive. I apologize. Shoot. Whew, that was fast. We have the King of Goats, the King of Cups. Yes, exactly. So someone who cares about your emotions. Someone who is fully in control of their own emotions. You can't get them upset unless they want to be upset. You can't, poke the bear and have the bear explode on you. It's kind of giving, like I said, regulated nervous system, where you don't have to worry about someone lashing out at you, being mad at you, blowing up on you. That could be something you worried about from childhood or from your past. And when you find a man that kind of does that, which this man will be, I think you'll definitely feel very safe. But you have to make yourself feel safe first. You shouldn't depend on someone else to make you feel safe. Okay. We have the Emperor too. How sexy. So a leader. Someone who's going to be the leader of the household, exactly. But in the masculine sense, since we have a lot of masculine energy coming through. Someone who works well with others. I feel like someone who is able to not collaborate, but how can I describe it? Like I said, in the example with Nara and Lucky, how they both kind of like, what is the saying? Feed off of each other. If Nara was in the middle of making the bed and now she's feeling a little tired, he just takes over, and it's not something that had to be said or asked for, So it's kind of like anticipating someone's needs. That's the kind of collaboration that I'm getting, like in the household with someone or in a relationship in general. You're anticipating someone's needs and understanding that, hey, it's more than just you in this connection right now. You have to worry about you, and you have to worry about this person you said you want to be in love with, that kind of thing. So taking care. Oh, we did have a card that flew out. Let me see what that card was. We have Strength. Ooh, I like this person. They're just giving me an energy of making you feel safe in ways you never felt before. Then we have the Star. Wowza. Major Arcana galore, huh? Okay, so we have Leo energy coming through once again with the Strength. With the Star, we have Aquarius energy. And that's what I'm getting with the extraordinary vibes and the extraordinary love. It's not something that everybody gets, but it's something that you're going to get. We have the Emperor coming through here, which is the embodiment of the divine masculine. So all those things that you've been wanting to feel safe, secure financially, physically, emotionally, that's what this person's going to cater to, right? The Emperor is also someone who was born to serve. So even while they have all this power, they still want to serve. Or have to, it's ingrained in them to do so. Then we have the King of Cups, someone who's not going to lash out and scream at you or call you names when they get upset. They know how to handle their emotions and kind of bring themselves back down. Very mature energy, right? The Emperor is also Aries energy. The King of Cups is Scorpio energy. The Three of Pentacles, it's Earth sign energy. It's someone who works hard, like I said, making sure the connection's always like great. So it's not like them having to work harder, but it's them just always doing things naturally to make the connection flow between the two of you guys, right? And that's how I think they work in career and how they work in their family. They're the person that is always making sure everyone is good. They're the person who's very easy to get along with, right? They're the person that everybody wants to be around. They know how to form connections, business connections, stuff like that, They know how to make sure the machine is always turning and working. They can be good with their hands, building, fixing stuff, okay? Like I'm getting someone who's quite deep as well. They want to love, and they want to fall in love deeply. And I think people like this are rare. So the fact that it took that's why it's taking a little bit longer for them to come around or for you to meet them. Because someone like this is rare. So it takes some time, and it takes a lot of growth and a lot of healing for people to get to this state of like being a little, I think this person's giving a little selfless vibes, you know? But also like, I feel like brutish, you know? Like, I don't want to say brutish like a negative way, but it's kind of like where if you're working too hard and they don't tell you to sit down, they're going to come and grab you by the scruff and say, girl, I said sit down, I'm going to do it. You're tired, you're barely holding on, I'm going to make dinner. You're like, I can see you swaying in the dang kitchen. Let me make dinner tonight. I did less work at the office, even if we're both working. Like, when it comes to us being together at the house, it's up to both of us to make sure the other person is not burned out and always happy, you know? That's the kind of person that's coming through, I feel that, okay? The star, like I said, is someone who's extraordinary. You're not going to meet someone like them all the time. It's going to Aquarius energy, right? And that's that whole, they get along well with others. The strength card here is saying that they're strong. This person could be physically strong, or they're like someone who's always taking care of everyone else when they're feeling weak. This is the kind of person that seems like they never have like a bad day, because they're always happy. They're always fighting, right? This is also, but it is giving me the kind of person where when they're sick, you're going to take care of them because they're going to turn into a big baby, right? But they need that and they deserve that because they took care of you all the time when they weren't sick, you know? So I think this is someone you're going to want to take care of, want to be there for, want to love, cater to, stuff like that, because they do the same thing for you. Now we're going to get a card from the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle. I just bought this deck yesterday at Barnes & Noble, a little gift for myself. I bought a new tarot deck and a new oracle deck. I know. I'm spending too much money, but it makes me happy. And you guys benefit from it, so yeah. Ending messages for my group 2. Any ending messages about what they need to know, what is coming in love, why are they still single, when will they meet someone, who is this person, advice, guidance, whatever. What is the energy that needs to come through? Nothing? The cards are quiet. There it is. No, this came through in group 1. All this shuffling and just that one card, I'm taking another one. I want to see this deck. Here we have the new Diz, the now Diz. This is giving is this a Wolverine? The now Diz and the Fei-Hu. I already know the Fei-Hu represents luck. It represents fortune, abundance, fertility, stuff like that. So I do feel like you're going to feel that way in this connection. I don't think money's going to be a problem is what I do want to say. But I do want to get more into the now Diz, new Diz. I don't know. Let's find it. How about that? No. It's... Oh, so these are like different tiers of runes. So tier 1 especially, which is, I think it's called, I don't know how to pronounce it, 𝐓𝐴𝐡𝐻. Tier 1 is Freya. Tier 2 is Heimdall. And tier 2 is Tyr. Like Tyr. I didn't tell you pronounce his name. But anyway, this one right here is the honey badger, not a Wolverine. Okay, dang. But that's page 20, but it's in tier 2. Very interesting. So, is there any creature tougher, more tenacious, robust, and resilient than the honey badger? So your person is going to be quite robust, I feel like. Or they're gonna have a lot of spirit, a lot of heart, a big like booming voice, a big booming laugh. It's kind of giving Santa Claus, but not pudgy. They could be. It's giving a bit of the bear. You know, men how women call them bears, like big, cuddly, cutesy kind of guys with beards, and you know what I mean. They're supposed to look intimidating, but they're really sweet. Okay, yeah. No matter what life throws at her, she uses it to learn, grow, and become even stronger. Whether she is battling a deadly snake or finding a way for her family to survive an arid environment, she casts aside frivolous wants and focuses on essential needs. The saying, necessity is the mother of invention, perfectly describes the energy of now Diz. It is the unimaginable pressure that creates diamonds. Notice tells you something you probably already know. Life can be hard, yet it is often through your suffering and your labor that you truly learn the powerful stuff you are made of. And it's funny how mostly for this reading I was talking about like traumas and, wanting something so badly and not getting it and having to go through some stuff and go through a lot of healing. Something you already know you have to do if you've been through a lot of trauma in order to get this person and this love. And they've been through the same thing, right? They've come out on the other side better for it. And that's why it's taking so long for you to come together. Because like I said, when people like this, two extraordinary people like you and like them try to come together, it takes some time. It takes growth. It also takes a lot of alone time to sit with yourself and your emotions, okay? So it says in a reading, this is a message that you are made of bold and powerful magic. Have faith and persevere, right? We're not going to talk about that. So the keywords are need, resistance, effort, delays, and creative friction. I like that. Creative friction, period. And then 𝐓𝐴 the squirrel represents wealth, luck, abundance, energy, and fertility, okay? 𝐓𝐴 is a high energy rune and it brings luck and fortune. As the first rune of the first 𝐓𝐻, it speaks of beginnings. So this is the rune that refers to movable property like money or possessions. In a reading, it references prosperity, in particular that's achieved through efforts, okay, or your own efforts. It can indicate financial security and successful business, property, and asset negotiation. 𝐓𝐴 can also mean reduced financial problems and unexpected good fortune. It is a sign of hope and plenty, success, and happiness. So you could definitely meet this person through work, which I feel like is something that people always say and it annoys me, but I'm like, that's what's coming through for sure. Like, you can also take that as a different way. You're going to meet this person through work, working on yourself, working on something, working on different things, It doesn't always have to be how you make money, okay? But that's what I have for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If it didn't resonate, I don't want to see no negative comments, negative Nancy's, negative Nellies in the comments. If it doesn't resonate, you should have been clicked off by now, right? If you're still watching, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Okay. If you want to book a reading with me, you could always do so using my email in the description box below. But like, comment, and subscribe if I didn't say that already, and hype up the video if you feel called to do so. But yes, always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group threes. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 3, the number 3, however you made your way here, welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. Today's reading is going to be about will you die alone? Will you be single forever? You know what I mean? It was but also wasn't inspired by the song The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift, right? So there was another reason why I wrote down this topic for will you be single forever, or why are you still single, more specifically. But then as I started getting into The Fate of Ophelia and listening to the song more, I thought it would be the perfect addition to why this was a good reading as well. So yeah. The Fate of Ophelia, such a good song. It's turning me into a diehard Swiftie. So I appreciate Taylor Swift. Was never Google Gaga over her. Still am not. But this song, it does something to me, right? She put some kind of something in the song because I just can't. It's so good. And maybe it's because I relate to it. The fate of Ophelia dying alone, tragically. And it's kind of like that's what she thought was going to happen to her until she met her Travis, right? So I feel like it goes hand in hand with the reading about why are you still single, or will you be single forever, okay? So in today's reading, where the first question we're going to ask is, will you be single forever? Will you die alone? Okay. Then we're going to get into the why are you still single, right? Then we're going to get into the when will you meet someone? What circumstances will you be dealing with in life? What will you be going through, right? And then we're going to get a little bit about your person, just to, end on a good note, give you something to look forward to. And then we're going to end with some, advice or guidance with this new deck that I bought just yesterday. It is the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle. So they give you some animals, some familiars, and they also give you runes associated with those animals. So let's get right into it. The card's been acting up today, and I'm not amused. Thank you. We have the Horror Tarot coming through. Before we get into the reading, if you at any point in the reading do not resonate with it, do not like it, don't sit here and watch the whole reading or watch 10 minutes of the reading and then come complaining in the comments about how the reading didn't resonate or this could never be this or this could never be that. Then why did you watch it? Like, if something's making me uncomfortable, especially a reading, I click off. I don't go to the comments and be like, what's the sense in that? It's not going to make it any less true, make it any less accurate for other people. Like, it's not taking away anything from me. In fact, it's giving me more engagement. So thank you. But please, it doesn't make sense to me how some people think that complaining about a reading in the comment section is the way to go. I was raised, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Complaining is not going to change the fact that you chose that pile. Like, try to figure out why you chose that pile. People be watching pick a card readings and not understand that there's spirituality behind it. There needs to be growth and healing going on while you're watching these readings, or else you're going to be picking the piles that inherit or inhibit, unhealed people. You know what I mean? So it says a lot about you when you choose those piles instead of, you trying to complain in the comments. But anyway, that's enough of that. But just if you have anything negative to say, think twice before you say it. If you still say it, I'd be talking back in the comments. I don't care. I'll talk back real quick. But just think about it first, Anyway, let's get into the reading. Will my group 3s die alone? I'm getting you guys are very, serious people. I'm getting that vibe of, sage, composed, very, how can I describe it? You know who you are. You're very settled in who you are. You're giving a little bit of a graceful energy, Just mature. Yeah, mature and wise. So my group 3, will they be single forever? Please, Spirit, will they be single forever? And I hope that it's obvious that this is a reading for singles. If you're in a relationship, there's no reason for you to be watching it unless you just want to rock with me and watch my reading. And I love that for you. I love that for me. I love that for us. Keep rocking with me. But if you're in a relationship, there's no reason for you to be watching this reading. Okay. So, will they die alone? Will they be single forever? Jesus Christ. Why would you get this scary card? Come on. I'm scared. I'm frightened. J. Purr. Look at her. Why are you looking like this, sis? It don't make no sense. Ugh. I don't like scary stuff. I don't even know why I bought this deck. I was so gung-ho on Halloween decks a year ago that I went crazy, but I'm disturbed by the images on these cards. But anyway, we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. Any card coming out in reverse for a yes or no question is a no. So no, you will not be single. I feel like if anything, you may end up with someone from your past. With the 6 of Cups coming through here, someone may come back around, someone may finish healing and finally be ready to give you what you need, that kind of thing. But I feel like there's, you have options, guys. You have people who are still in love with you from your past is what I'm getting as well. And then you have new people you may meet. So it just really just depends. But the first card we have is in reverse, so that's no. You have options in your hand. She has all of these past connections that will snatch her up in a second if she wanted to be and, boot up, right? The next card we have here is the 2 of Pentacles, which also came out in reverse. So you have another no. Will you die alone? No. Okay. The 2 of Pentacles, look at how we have these 2 hands. One is big and greasy and beastly, and one is, delicate and feminine. We love to see it. It's giving reach out your hand for someone. So maybe some of you have someone in mind already. Maybe you're dating someone right now, but, dating is different from in a relationship, so that could be why. But this is giving you have people. You have someone who's right there, or you're about to meet someone, I feel for you guys, which is why you guys were coming through with someone who's already sage. You know yourself. You don't need someone to sit here and tell you still have healings to do, you still got to do this, you still got to do that. No, it's okay, I'm just here chilling, right? I'm not fiending for love, or I'm not completely opposed to it, or I'm not 1 second saying I want it, 1 second saying I don't want it. It's kind of if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, And that's why I feel it's so close for you guys, If that's what you want, right? You could be happy being single. Beats me, I wouldn't know. I don't know you like that. But I'm definitely getting something here about a divine soulmate, because the 2 of Pentacles is not usually representing 2 different enemies. Stop it. 2 different energies. Are you going to end up with an enemy? Stop it. Why is this song coming through? Have you guys ever heard the song Enemies by Jeremiah and Keke Palmer? Let me look it up real quick. I don't even have to. It's saying, the song goes, this ain't enough for me. I gotta be honest, I don't want you to lust for me. And if we're just friends, I'd rather be your enemy. So you could do all the things you're holding back from me. So let's be enemies. It's a very sensual, sexy song, basically saying how you don't have to be enemies, but it's like, if you want to be friends with me, I don't want to be friends with you. We got to be enemies now because you need to F me. Like, you hate me, or you need to be considered not a friend in order to date me, kind of thing. Let me look at the lyrics anyway. Okay, give me a second. See, didn't I say I have someone right there in the cut? So the song starts off, or the lyrics, I should say, I bite my tongue, it never hurt so bad. I keep wanting you to cross that line. I keep trying to get you to react. It never happens every time. Now you're flowing through my veins. There's one way to cure this pain. I want you inside of me. Can you fill this empty space? This ain't enough for me. I gotta be honest, I want you to lust for me. And if we're just friends, I'd rather be your enemy. So you can do all the things you're holding back from me. So let's be enemies. Okay? I know you keep your friends close. I know you keep your enemies closer. Yeah. I love Keke Palmer because she always coming out with a bop, child. But then she goes on to say, I'm going to change the way you look at me. I'll put desire in your eyes. No, I can't wait to see your fantasies. I can make you come alive. Okay. So either you have friend zoned someone who wants more with you. And like I said, you have people banging down your door, all these past connections saying, hey, whenever you're ready to pick things up again, I'm here, right? Or you have a friend in your life. I'll be laughing. Maybe you did friend zone a past lover or something, and they're kind of like, no, I want more than that. Stop playing in my face, right? If you want to be friends, I'd rather be your enemy, because your enemy is getting some, the ire, the desire. The enemy puts the ire in desire. I think I'm funny. That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you don't lust for me because I'm your friend, eh? No, you don't gotta be friends, homie, right? That's kind of what I'm getting. So someone is friend zone, you got friend zone, they got friend zone, and someone here is like, I want to be your enemy if that's the case. Stop playing in my face. Bars. Okay, I'm done. You guys' readings is my favorite so far. Because group 2's was too serious. Group 1's was too, yours is, I like this. This is a refreshing kind of energy. It's kind of like, I got options out here in these streets. I don't need nobody. I may want someone, but I don't need y'all, right? And if there is a friend who friend zoned you, I don't need you. But it would be nice if we were to be enemies so we could fool around. Okay, anywho. So somebody here respects you too much or you respect them too much. You kind of debase your connection to just friends with benefits, right? So it's either we're all in or nothing. It's the kind of energy coming through here, right? Period. And the next card we have here is the Ten of Pentacles. Once again, this came out in group 1 in reverse though. So I do feel like there is somebody here. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm hearing, how sometimes, I don't know if y'all be going to church, but my grandma be putting on church every Sunday in the house. And it's kind of like, what do people say? It's kind of like, what is the saying? It's like somebody. Like when somebody's really feeling it, like, help me, touch me, do something, somebody. Someone in the church always saying that. I feel like that's where I'm hearing this from. But it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Tell me somebody, help me somebody, something somebody is the saying that's coming through. Oh my gosh. And then I'm also hearing, what's his name? From Dr. Facilier from, what is it called? Princess and the Frog, where he's like, won't you shake my hand? won't you shake a poor sinner's hand? Like, what do you mean? And then isn't that what they're kind of doing in this card here? Yo, yeah, y'all are my favorite group so far. I'm pleasantly surprised because so far the past two readings, group 3 has been kind of ghetto, if I'm gonna be honest. So hopefully we've purged out all the people that don't need to be here and we have a nice fresh energy, okay? Or maybe some of y'all change y'all attitudes and look within yourself. Let me stop. Whoo, child, but yeah, I'm getting something. My grandma be watching this. Either Dr. Al Sharpton or Reverend Al Sharpton, excuse me, or something from her church, but it's like somebody. It's giving Al Sharpton-esque vibe, so it has to be something. Like, he be getting in his preaching boy vibe, like, somebody, help me. It's something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's kind of what I'm getting here. Like, there's something about help me somebody, or, yeah, preach it, or, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, I do think you guys have options. So, will you die alone? No. Even if it is with a friend or someone you got to settle, not even settle with. Let me stop. That's OD. That's OD. You don't got time for settling out here. But even if it's somebody you would have to settle with, you would not be alone because you have options, okay? There we go. And then we have 10 of Cups coming out, which is an energy of settling down. You know what I mean? So you have options to be with people from the past if you were to choose to do so, but it's coming out in reverse. So like I said, all these cards mostly came out in reverse. So it's giving no when cards come out in reverse. So you're not going to die alone. Great. Next, why are my group 3 single though? We've established you're not going to die alone. Why are they single? We have the 7 of Swords. Interesting. Maybe it's hard for you to show your emotions. Maybe it's hard for you to truly open up. The 7 of Swords is always keeping just a little bit of yourself held back, you know, keeping your cards, excuse me, close to your chest, right? You're having a little bit of like something stuck in your throat, you know, your voice is kind of going away and you have to clear your throat in order to clear that out. So there could be something here about throat chakra blockages. And I love that that's coming through because we also have Swords, which is the voice, you know. Maybe you have a hard time asking for what you want, right? Or being transparent with people. Maybe if you're with someone and you don't want to be committed, you don't tell them that. Or if you're with someone and you want to be committed, you don't tell them that. There's something here about keeping your voice quiet and not speaking up and being clear about what you want, right? So why you're still single is because you're not telling this friend, this lover, this whatever, this past relationship that you want to be with them. You're not telling them that. You're keeping quiet. And that's the only reason why you're single, because like I said, you have your pick of the litter, honestly, okay? So the next few cards we have coming out is the 7 of Pentacles, so 2 7s so far. Very interesting. If this is a 7, I'm throwing something. No, it's a 10 of Cups. Maybe you're happy on your own. Maybe you've already found love with someone, but maybe there is something here about them not speaking to you or you're not speaking to them in order to claim it. You know, not the cards, not even in frame. Don't do that. That's kind of what I'm getting from these cards here, okay? 77 is also, like I said, a master number. And I do believe like represents divine flow. It represents divine timing. So that could be a thing as well. Maybe you're in separation from someone you want to be with, which is why you're single. Because you've experienced full happiness, but you only want it with them. Which is why you're kind of giving that 7 of Swords energy. And when you meet after that, it's kind of like you're never going to get the full part of me because I already gave it to somebody else. Oh my. Is this what we're doing, group 3? Seeing the angel number 77 is a sign of spiritual awakening, growth, and guidance. Okay. Another interpretation I can take is, how can I just say what I want to say? Basically, you know that you're not happy with these people. So if you're not experiencing 10 of Cups with them, you move forward, you know, or move on, I should say. So you meet them, you don't really fully give them all of you because something's holding you back, right? Whether it's you scared of getting hurt, you scared of being betrayed, you're not feeling them that well, that deep, whatever. You kind of keep your little bits of yourself held back, you know? It's kind of even like a little sneaky, right? What is it called? Throwing stones and hiding your hands. Like, who threw that stone? Who did that? It wasn't me, but it was you, you know? So maybe sabotaging purposely. to get someone to break up with you before you break up with them. Very interesting. But it's kind of giving me that vibe of not fully being transparent or truthful to people that you're with, and not fully telling them that you're not looking for this or that, or you don't want them, or you're not happy with them, whatever. And then you kind of like settle down with them for a little bit. You invest in them a little bit, right? With the 7 of Pentacles coming through. And then when you don't get the 10 of Cups, you kind of leave, you know? Like a thief in the night, and don't tell them. You could be a ghoster. Group 3, behave. Stop playing. Okay? What goes around comes around. Okay? What goes around, goes around, goes around, comes all the way back around. Yeah. Okay? Not Justin Timberlake coming through in the reading, but that's like an important message though, because if you're ghosting people, people gonna ghost you. If you out here cheating with people, they gonna cheat back on you. Like, live on the up and up, group 3. Stop playing. Right. Not saying y'all do this, but if it's resonating at all, stop playing. There you go. So why are you single? I think I need more for y'all. Why are my group 3 still single? I believe you have, some of you, y'all, have too much love to give to settle for anything less than what you truly want. What goes around, goes around, goes around, comes all the way back around. Yeah. We have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Star, and then we have the King of Wands. Yeah, I think that's what's coming through here for you guys. You haven't found what you've been looking for. You haven't found your wish on a star, because the Star card came out in reverse, and so did the Wheel of Fortune. You haven't come into this energy of, oh, this is my person. I've met the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. You haven't had that, oh my gosh, breath-stealing realization, that moment of realization that, hey, this is my person, right? Like I said, you're waiting for this 10 of Cups energy, and it hasn't found you yet. You're waiting for someone who's going to give you all of them, put in all their energy and effort, and you haven't found that yet. You could be dealing with sneaky partners, right? Instead of the sneaky energy that I'm getting, could be someone else and not you. So we have the Star, which came out in reverse, right? We have a Ouija board. Interesting. Not a Ouija board. Then here we have the Wheel of Fortune. But these came out in reverse, but I just want you to see the cards because they're so cute. And then here we have the King of Wands, but this came out upright, okay? I think you need someone who's sure about what they want, someone who's going to fight for what they want as well. If you feel like you're putting in too much effort, or the chaser and the dynamic, you're going to leave. Which is understandable this period. Especially with this King of Wands coming out to then, I guess, somewhat clarify the 10 of Cups. It's like your 10 of Cups is coming in or being represented by this King of Wands, which is a very sure, astute, confident, sexy fellow. You know, someone's going to sweep you off your feet. They're giving main character energy, the main sexy character in the show. You know, maybe you want someone that everyone else wants as well. There could be some like gratification in that, getting someone who everyone else wanted to. So popular guy, right? Or I'm hearing, this is the first time I'm ever hearing like athlete or something. Athlete, singer, musician, stuff like that. You kind of want the big kahuna. You want, it's like the all-star. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. You want the all-star. Here, this star is killing me because it's kind of giving me maybe you're asking people on the other side, right? Because I was getting Dr. Facilier, and that was his gift. He was selling his soul to talk to those souls on the other side. Those souls were doing work for him here too. You know what I mean? So maybe some of you are mediums, right? And you kind of the ghosts tell you the ghosts tell you if this person's good for you or not. Or the ghost could be your intuition, whatever you rock with, right? Okay. So you're single because you're waiting for the real thing. And I'm hearing a song by Rabble. This could be the real thing if you let it. Something, 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 the real thing. Yeah, the real thing by Rabble. He says, this could be the real thing if we let it. This could be the real thing if we don't F it up by overthinking. If we let it, this could be the real thing, right? So yeah, you're searching for the real thing. And I'm hearing real love. Real love. Don't do that. I'm searching for real love. Okay, so we got that out the way. Now, when will you meet this someone? What will you be getting over, overcoming, dealing with? That was fast. We have the Fool in reverse. And look at how sis is running away from these things, these ugly movies in the dark. Like when you stop running away from things. When you start, I don't know, not when you start. When you stop constantly wanting to start over when things go wrong. Like I feel like you guys need to learn how to put in the work and stop running away. You know what I mean? Because I think some relationships do take work. Especially if the real problem comes from us and we're not recognizing it, you know? It's giving running from relationship to relationships, thinking that the problem is the partner when the problem is really you. And if you keep running from person to person and the problem is still you, every relationship you get into is since you're the problem, it's gonna keep going bad. And until you kind of figure out what's wrong and why you keep running first and foremost, or kind of what about that person could trigger you or something. Maybe you don't want to settle down. Maybe you're a commitment phobe. I am kind of getting that vibe for you guys. Because it's not just one wolfie chasing after her in this card. It's two of them. We have one ugly moody, then we have the second one here chasing behind her. She's like, nope, she don't want to be, don't save her. She is running for her life instead of staying and figuring out what's going on. Or maybe this could represent her running from her demons as well, you know, running into a new connection when her demons catch up with her and the things that, like I said, continuously go wrong in these connections. She's kind of like, oh no, it's the other person's fault, or this person, whatever, you. It's like, oh, it's their fault, not mine. And you're not taking accountability, which is why the Seven of Swords kind of came through, because that is the sneaking out in the middle of the night card. Exactly. So y'all runners, y'all running. Child, the reason why you're still single is because, like I said, you're running. You have a bunch of friends, old past connections, where the person may not have been the problem, really. It could have been you, child. And you're just going to keep running and running and running until you reach the end of the world and you're like tipping over. And it's like, where do I go from here? Besides back. And so one of these connections I messed up, which is what I was saying in the freaking beginning about the Six of Cups. Why you're single, you're not going to die alone because you may double back to a relationship you already had that you may have realized, hey, I was the problem. Let me go and apologize and try to make it work. You know, that's funny how these things come back around. I'm like, even if you no, you're not going to die single because we have the Six of Cups in reverse. The reversal cards already knows. But the fact that it was Six of Cups, she's holding all these cups in her hand, means that she has all these connections that she's kind of just been leaving behind in her past. And the Fool card is her running away from her past and these people in the past. So it's like you're representing, you're single because the Seven of Cups or the Seven of Swords is you not fully opening yourself up. As soon as things get too deep, too serious, too whatever, or they're holding you accountable for the things that you do wrong, you're kind of like, bye. I don't have to deal with this, and you kind of leave. Oh my. But when you meet someone is when you stop running, okay? When you're able to, I guess, confront these two demons or the demons that are chasing behind you and following you in life that's interfering with your connections, okay? And didn't the song freaking say this can be the real thing if we let it? You won't let it. Child, not the cards and the readings and the songs reading you for filth, child. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to do all this now. I just wanted to have a cute reading. Let me stop. Readings about this topic is never cute, child. Here we have the Sun in reverse. Interesting. When you let yourself be happy? Is that an energy coming through for some of you? When you let yourself be happy? Or when you let yourself be unhappy and sit in the unhappiness and figure out why and what's the problem? Yeah. And in doing that, you will allow yourself to be happy once you kind of fix everything, you know, or heal. Not that you need fixing, but healing. It's always a thing. We're going to continuously heal, you know, especially if you're running from connection to connection. You're just gathering freaking, not traumas, but your wounds like infinity stones. And soon you're going to have a whole gauntlet of stuff to deal with when you could have just dealt with one and stayed in that one connection you was running from or something like that. Whatever. Let me stop. Okay. When will my group of threes meet someone, please, Spirit? When will they meet someone? Whew. We have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, look at how she's borrowed there and settled in for the long haul. But also look what's under the bed. She's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with all these little ooly moolies that have been bothering me. And it's not going to be easy because you can't even see no parts of sis besides her hair. It's kind of like when you sit and settle and plant yourself there and you do not move, right? And that's you dealing with the problems and stop running from them. That's basically what's coming through here when you're planted, when you plant yourself somewhere, when you take some time for yourself. The Page of Pentacles is also like a new hobby. Is kind of not a new hobby, a new venture. You're embarking on something new. But it's not like, it doesn't involve you leaving or going anywhere. It involves you sitting within yourself. Listening to your inner voice as well. Sleeping, resting. But that's what the Page of Pentacles means. It also represents a message. So speaking to your inner child, what I just heard specifically, pages do represent kids. So yeah, going back to your childhood and asking what happened here that has me afraid to commit. Can I get one more card, please, Spirit? One more card. When will they meet someone? Look, we have the Six of Cups in reverse again. Guys, what was I saying? All these cups she's holding in her hands. Like, why her eyes gotta look like that? Stop it. Yeah. When your past becomes your present is what I just heard. Why is this sounding so freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi? It's sounding so Yoda-y. Like, when your past becomes your present. Only then will you find true love. Like, shut up. But continue. Because, yeah. Tell them group three. Tell my group threes. Yeah. Six of Cups, stop running from the past, right? Let the nostalgia overtake you and then get on with it. Okay. What is that song? I'm hearing a song. We used to have it all, but now's our curtain call. So hold for the applause. Oh, 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 oh. Take our final bow and wave out to the crowd. It's our time to go. At least we stole the show. Stole the Show is the name of the song. Stole the Show by Parson James. And Kygo, I think, is that song. I haven't heard it in years, but Stole the Show. Yeah, and it says we used to have it all, and here's our curtain call. So hold for the applause. Maybe it's going to be as simple as like ending a past relationship properly, or going back to all those partners and saying, hey, and now if some of those relationships, you aren't the problem, it don't got to be all of them, right? But I think a few of you like ran away from something and never like apologized or made amends, maybe. Or you never grieved. You never got over it. You just hopped into a new connection, kind of what I'm getting. Because that Page of Pentacles, the way she was lying in bed all covered up, is kind of giving me how in some movies, that's how they depict heartbreak, where the girl is just sitting in her own filth, or the guy is sitting in his own filth for days on end, and like just getting over it. He's eating ice cream, she's eating all the junk foods, and they're just like wallowing and letting the emotions overtake them, slam them from all different angles, and then they kind of come out unscathed. That's the only way to truly move on, is when you heal, right? So that's coming through again. Okay, so now I want to get a little bit into who is the next person you're going to be like with, your fated partner, since this song, like I said, is in part inspired by The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. Who is your fated partner? Get a little bit about them. We have the moon, so Cancer energy or Pisces. A lone wolf. I'm also hearing shapeshifter. Someone who's an animal. Because we have the wolf and now we have the lion coming through. And now we have the Wheel of Fortune. So strength is Leo. The moon, like I said, is Pisces, Cancer. Here we have Page of Bats, a Page of Wands. Someone who's very young at heart, innocent. Not saying immature, there's a difference, okay? I'm hearing the song Young at Heart by Frank Sinatra. I think it's by him. Those old-timey, croony, bluesy songs, right? There's also another song coming through. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Snap back to reality. Makes you stop and try it again. Little fool, you never can win. What song is that? Okay, so I looked up the song, and the song is so rude. Why is it? The part that was coming through was, what did it say? Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. First of all, who you calling little fool, child? That part right there. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. So you're living in Lululand, guys? What's up? Tell me in the comments. I'm nosy. Anyway, but each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin because I've got you under my skin. That's the song. So yeah, there's somebody out there that is just like wants to be with y'all real bad. Y'all ran from them, child, like a thief in the night. You stole their heart and you may have broken your heart as well. And it's like you're single because you left that person because maybe things were getting too serious, things were getting too deep. You didn't want to commit. And now look at you, looking doofy. Because please stop it. And then the song goes, I would sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of the warning voice that comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. This is such a good song. Stop it. Okay, I'm done. Okay, anywho. So yeah, we have the moon here. Someone who's sad, right? Your person, if you know this person, like I said, it's giving Cancer, Leo, and then with the Wheel of Fortune, we have Taurus, Scorpio, Leo again, and Aquarius energy coming through. Okay, so one of those signs could be coming through for you guys. But the moon is like giving a shapeshifter, someone who like embodies secrets really well. They know how to keep secrets. Maybe they've kept your secrets. That's why they're good at keeping secrets. You know, the moon is someone who is very intuitive, who gets dreams. This person could have prophetic dreams, and you could be a medium. Maybe you were scared of the power of the connection, so you ran. Because if you're highly gifted at being a medium and they're highly gifted at being a psychic or getting prophetic dreams, that's a power couple right there. The things y'all could do together, why y'all ran for? Stop playing. Anyway, maybe you're dreaming this person, they dream of you as well. But the moon is Cancer energy, someone who is very nurturing, someone who's very intuitive, someone who's very caring. They might be a little emotional, right? But who doesn't need someone who's a little emotional? Maybe they thought they were like a crybaby or too like babyish or immature, because we have the Page. If this is someone you know, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here assuming this is a person that you already know, okay? So someone who is sensitive, they could be seen as a little immature because they're coming through as a Page of Wands, which is they get very excited over small things, very excitable. Like you tell a child we're going to get some candy, and they're easily made happy. They're easily pleased, right? They don't really ask for much, right? Then we have the Wheel of Fortune here, which can represent someone who's like, I don't want to say temperamental. They definitely believe in the fates. They believe in everything happening for a reason, which could be why they're like still stuck on you and still thinking about you, if this is someone you already know, right? Okay. Strength card is someone who's like, looks like they're giving monster vibes. They're giving someone who may be intimidating, someone who may be imposing, someone who may be a little bit borderline scary. But when it comes to certain things, they kind of not want to be babied, but I want to describe it. You see how the lion is letting the girl tend to him because something about him is hurt, and he needs help, he needs assistance, this person can be vulnerable when the time comes, okay? But they're also someone who is seen as very strong person, but they're only vulnerable with certain people. So if they're vulnerable with you, it's think of it as a compliment, you know? Let's see what else we can get about this person. Page of Wands is fire sign energy coming through. This person loves adventure, discovering new things. They're very spontaneous as well. I just heard they're a foodie. They make friends everywhere they go. We have a Knight of Ghosts, someone who's going to tell you how they feel about you. This is not a person who hides their emotions. They're an emotional being, this person, and they're not ashamed of it, okay? We have the Magician. They could be good at doing, like, you know, close-up magic, or they're just good at manifesting certain things as well. The Magician is Virgo and Gemini energy. A lot of different vibes coming through. Move. This person's, like I said, good at manifesting, good at maybe close-up magic, stuff like that. You could see them as magical because they have these abilities, but so do you. This person could be like more, this person could be further along in their spiritual journey than you are. So they're going to be teaching you certain things, and that could also be intimidating. Here we have the Seven of Ghosts, the Seven of Cups. This person has like a lot of things on their mind. They could be a little bit indecisive. They're definitely a dreamer, a daydreamer. Sorry. I feel like you should be able to see all of them if I were to just place them properly. This person could be a crooner. They could be a singer, is what I just heard. They could have that Frank Sinatra crooning voice. Here we have the Four of Pumpkins. Well, I hate this guy. Because why does he look like that? Like, what are you doing, sir? Like this little awkward smile, okay? This person is very possessive. This person is very good at like saving money, stuff like that. So I'm like, who are you looking at like that? He looks weird to me. And then here we have the Hangman in reverse. So this person is very good at being in a state of, how can I say it? Stasis, but not being stuck. So this person can easily go into a mode of, I'm seeing remote viewing and still be present, you know? Very powerful person you have here for sure. But that's the kind of energy coming through for them, because the Hangman is someone who is stuck in review mode. They can't get out. This person with the Hangman in reverse, they're able to go into a reviewing mode and still be functional. They're not someone who has to be stuck or pause their whole life or not be able to work and do certain things when it comes to healing and growing and getting better, you know? They're able to fully, like, it's kind of given like a robot that's updating as it goes, you know? It's like how, not even that, because our phones, I have an iPhone. When my iPhone is updating, I can't touch it for a good minute. You're giving someone who, this person is giving someone who is constantly rebooting and upgrading themselves without having to like shut down or not talk or still be, they're still a member of society essentially. They're still aware in the world, you know? So a very hyper vigilant, hyper aware kind of person you have coming through here for you guys, okay? Whew. And they're just a baby. They may be someone, like I said, who is grown and mature and accomplished and highly spiritual. But like when it comes to certain things, they just want to be held, right? They just want to nurture and take care of people, and they want that courtesy given back to them, you know? Oh, this person's so little. I think they're so little. This person's also quite lucky because we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through here, but the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician card kind of give the same vibe. Good at getting what they want. Divinely, like, guided, favored. Okay, now we're going to pull from my new deck, the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle, to see what other or ending closing messages we have for you regarding anything we talked about in the reading. Whatever comes through. Please, Spirit, give me an energy for my group threes, please, Spirit. What are we going to end the reading on? What note are we going to end the reading on? Whew, is that just one? Thank God. I don't want to be here no longer. It is late. I don't know why these readings always end up being so long. I try to make them... What the bummerats clock? No. Do we have somebody watching all three groups? Because what the heck? This reading has been coming through. This one card has come through each time for every group. Don't piss me off. I want a different card. I didn't get this deck to get the same card 3 times. Like, dag. It is, like, y'all see me shuffling and I'm just, what? This is madness. Okay, thank you. We have TSA or whatever that word is. You know what? I'm going to just figure it out when we open the book. So this, since it came through freaking 2 times already, it gives fortune, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune coming through here. This person's going to change your life. It's coming through in a different way than, or this person was brought to you to change your life, which is why you running away from them is kind of futile, because you're going to have to double back or go back and talk to them or be around them or something like that in the future. So it's better you just do it with your tail between your legs, apologize, and you meet them somewhere out there in the world and they end up being your boss, and now they have this bad blood between you guys because you left them in the middle of the night. That's the kind of energy I'm coming through. This person's coming back around. And if they're still in that hurt energy and you're the one who hurt them, it may not end up so well for you. But it could, because this rune represents, like I said, fertility, abundance, fortune, and luck. So the Wheel of Fortune was coming out for your person. So it's giving they're going to bring a lot of luck to your life. They're going to bring a lot of meaning to your life. Things are going to start making sense, is kind of what I'm getting as well. But let me get to this one right here. I've seen this one. Or we'll just read through that one really quickly. How about that? So, the hardworking and energetic red squirrel holds aloft her golden acorn, a lucky discovery after a successful forage. So this could just be you, like, going out to the world and finding someone. It's easy for you to do so. I think that came through already in the beginning of the reading, but I am getting for some of you, this is a specific person that you left behind in the past. Others of you, this is someone you're going to meet in the future, okay? It takes effort, but she is richly rewarded and her family is well fed. So if you have a family with this for a future person, you're never gonna have to worry about anything. Red squirrels need to be careful about hoarding all her nuts in one place. Her treasures are safer when spread out a little. So Fehu is a high energy rune and it brings luck and fortune. As the first rune of the first whatever, it speaks of beginnings. This is the rune that refers to movable property like money or possessions. In readings, it references prosperity, in particular that achieved through your own efforts. It can indicate financial security and successful business, property, and asset negotiations. Fehu can also mean reduced financial problems and unexpected good fortune. It is a sign of hope and plenty, success and happiness, okay? Now, this next card coming through here, like, what is this? I'm like, how you spell that? Okay, go back to the beginning of the reading. So it's Isa. It's an I. I'm like, that don't look like an I, it's like a T to me. And then we have 22. Okay, please be good, child. The bat is the energy coming through. So this could be you versus them. They're the squirrel, you're the bat. As the temperature drops, the bat quiets and turns inward. The business of life comes to a standstill, and she uses this in-between period for self-reflection and to build inner strength for when it all starts again. Sounds like y'all, group 3. She pulls all her awareness and resources in toward herself concerning or concentrating her power. The Page of Pentacles. Isa not only sounds, it's supposed to be ice. Okay, Isa? Not only sounds like the word ice, it also means ice and is the symbol of I or the self. In many European cultural traditions, ice is the formative element and the essence of all things. Isa is a very strong rune with an element of danger. The inward-facing, quieting stillness can lull you to sleep, and in the bitter cold, sleep can bring death. Oh my. The message of Isa is one of finding inner strength, self-reliance, self-awareness, and self-acceptance. Yeah, this card representing y'all here. Y'all frozen, y'all cold like ice, just out here curbing everybody, child. You're single because you're mean. Let me stop. Oh my gosh. I mean it in a joking way, but seriously, it could be because you push people away. That's why you're single, you know? It halts activity until a change is made, whether from within or without. I feel like that beautifully embodies what I was saying about you guys needing to, take some time for yourself and figure out why you do certain things and then fix those things. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. You'll be loved to have you. Also hype if you can, because why not? Appreciate you. If you would ever want to book a reading with me, you could always use my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous, gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye.